Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 6th. Looking at the E-mini S&Ps and a trading plan for today, Tuesday, 2022. So let's get into it here. Yesterday was Labor Day, American holiday, and pretty much got to look at it like it was overnight trade. You know, low volume, slow tempo, not much range. And I am actually pulling it together. Now I probably will split it apart and look at it differently, but I've merged all of the trade together from the Sunday night, Monday day trade. You can see the gray bars in here. If I split it out, right, you can see this was yesterday right here. Continuation of what was going on pre-market, and then here, and then it continued higher. So it's just basically been a slow drift higher. One thing I do see, which arguably this could be considered possibly a bear flag. I'm not pulling a 30-minute. I'm going to make this a pretty short video here, hopefully. Let me go to tools, just point this out real quick. So you basically have a high A, B, C. So you got a zigzag type of corrective pattern. But who knows? We'll see. We got news this morning. We've got ISM Services PMI, which is the main volatility news at 10 a.m. So Eastern, so that's an hour into the open. Everything I do is on Eastern time, so just bear that in mind if I forget to say it. All right, let me erase this real quick. Okay, so that being said, let's look at the daily here real quick. Nothing's much changed since yesterday. We came down. And this is a regular trading hours chart, and we didn't take out the low from Thursday, and that's an important piece of information. Again, this trend line does beckon, seems, but here we are balancing, and we are opening in range in value, and that's one of the important things. It's a bit nuanced because, as you can see from the move down, this is not like a typical spike because we started way up here, but it was mid to later day, so we came all the way. It turned into a trend day. One time framing down, the pointer here. It may bother you that you don't get to see the letters and all this stuff, but this is the general idea. We're looking at the shape, the motion, the move, the range, all that. We're not paying attention to we're not trying to read this right now. Okay, so came all the way down, and by the way, I want to let you know these levels on here are from Friday. I didn't reset all the levels and put in the value area low for yesterday, this, that, and the other. Now these may be important references early on and later on, not during the news, I wouldn't think, because that's where we're going to get our biggest changes probably. So I have this red line right here at this overnight low. We broke through here. We've come back up, and we've been rejected out of this area. So this is an area of possibility to watch. So if we get above it, first of all, there's a couple things to be aware of. We got this thick area right here. So this is value. It's overnight, sure, but it's value. It's this kind of stuff kind of slows the roll. But there may be a short squeeze to the upside if we do get continuation higher. So be aware of that. So this could turn into support. I'm going to talk about the storylines that might play out here today, but just giving you sort of the framework and context. So 39.55 is that overnight low from Thursday night, and we are sort of just rotating. And if I split this off real quick, just to you obviously will probably have your own charts, but let me just pull this in together. This is an area that's sort of kind of a congestion zone. That might be another way to put it. This is a congestion zone. So we've got congestion, but a slow grind higher. All right, and again, the thing is this to be a bear flag, or is this the beginning of initiating activity to the upside? Because we've had lower participation because of the weekend and the holiday trade. In a holiday weekend, okay. All right, so excuse me. Move this. So I have merged these all together. So my overnight value area high, value area low, VPOC. These are all pertaining to this combined trade. Now, I did copy the overnight VPOC, and that's at about 39.43.5, and used it on last night's VPOC. I'm not going to worry about the value area high and low. And each one of these, so when I'm trading, I look in the overnights for the swing highs and swing lows, so I'm not going to mark out that. I just look at them as swing highs and swing lows because last night, of course, had an overnight low, which is down here. All right, that being all kind of outlined, let's pull in what we're looking at here. Just a moment. Okay. So we do have poor highs and poor lows above us and below us. Okay. The overnight inventory is 100% long. And I want to say that, let's see. The first thing to be aware of, first important data, we're opening in range in value. Okay. So one of the first things to consider in that situation, and anytime it's that situation, is to buy the value area low or value area high. Well, the value area low is right here. So that's pretty immediate if we do get down there. It's an important data point if we don't. If we don't get down to the value area low in the first 30 minutes, hour, hour and a half, it gets more important as time goes on. But the value area high is way up here. So if you're waiting to sell that, that's a long way off, right? Might want to, one could, and I do this sometimes, split the profile here at this initiating move down and get a new value area high. Consider it a separate profile, okay? So now that new value area high is right here, lo and behold, right below 39.55. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark that out. This is the possible inflection point. Make it white like I do most of my value areas. I'll make it solid just so I know what it is, right? I'll remember what it is. I'll make it kind of thick. All right, that'll jump out at me. Actually, a little less thick because sometimes that might trick me into thinking that's going to hold or something, right? So anyway, that's the value area high for the personality change from the day before. If that's a new technique for you, great. That's kind of like one of the things I like doing this is to share these kind of things because when I discovered them, it was greatly helpful. Okay, so the next situation. Now in that case, of course, you want market internals generally going to be slower. Now to get up to that value area high, I don't think we're going to get up there on mixed or neutral value area market internals, okay, or even a slow tempo. So let's just say we're looking at buying the value area low in this case. Sell value area high, and maybe a whole different reasons for doing that later, okay? All right, the next possible story is we reject Friday's value. I say prior day, but it means Friday. Friday's value area, and value develops overlapping to lower. Now I say overlapping because as soon as we start trading in there, we're developing some value. But if we move quickly outside of the value area low and start building value below it, then look out below, right? We do want to get through this stuff, so we got to be careful and take it a piece at a time because if this is really difficult, even though there's volume building here, it doesn't mean that we're going to continue lower. It may just be getting sellers are getting stuffed. So the strategy would be to get short with a move that takes out lower references, and that's why I put lower references. So just take it a piece at a time. You've got all kinds of inflection points, and we want negative market internals because you're going to need, it looks like, some fuel to get down there, and a high confidence open. Of course, none of these are imperative, but it helps to sort of think that may follow through. The next thing would be a continuation of yesterday's move up. And yesterday, I don't mean Friday in this case, I mean yesterday kind of rotated higher. It went higher, and then it kind of, it was pushing higher. And you can see it's sort of like been on a gyration to the upside. Drifting, that's the word for it. Continuation of Monday's drift higher. I should probably say that, but I don't have that listed. Look for ways to get or stay long to trade to the value area high and beyond. Now, we can take it a piece at a time as well in this case. Doesn't have to be the value area high, so I would not set it and forget it and put a target up there. I take pieces myself. I just take pieces. We want market internals and tempo. Market internals and tempo will not support continuation to the downside. Of course, with the ES, it's always important to remember. A lot of times you get I don't want to call it a fake out per se, but you get a what am I trying to say? You get a move down, but really the day's move is going to be up, or a move up and the day's move is going to be down. So you get sort of a little dance move there, the two-step. You get the two-step, okay? So let's see. Value will build mainly higher, and we're looking for, when there are stabs down, we get swift rejection. Might want to look for one-time framing higher, and also short covering activity, and that's also often hallmarked by pops, and then also from people will like it. Well, I won't get into reading the ladder, but like you can see where the dome is. You got icebergs and this and that, like they're kind of scooting things along. All right, so the next thing would be, we only have 4 stories this morning, to rotate below yesterday's IB, Friday's IB is what I mean, and above recent lows. So we were looking to, the strategy is we find today's range and responsibly buy and sell. The conditions for this to really be cultured would be market internals being mixed, the daytime frame is clearly mostly in control, looking for a slower tempo, references are respected, and this is very important, possible containment in the initial balance. So if we have very little range extension in C and D period, or range extension just a little bit on either side in C and D period, or no range extension for the first hour and a half, 2 hours, look for this. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Make a great day, and I'll see you on the flip side.